Well, welcome. My name is Karen Wilcuts with the North Lake Tahoe-Truckee Leadership Program, and we are so proud of our alumni who are running for local town council. So today we are going to be talking to Lindsay Romack. So Lindsay, welcome. Thanks for talking to us tonight.
Thanks, Karen. I really appreciate the opportunity to talk with you and leadership alum.
Yeah, I know. I feel bad for the people the candidates this year, because you haven't had a huge number of opportunities to talk to the public. So I'm hoping that that this gives you a good opportunity. So can you tell us, first of all, you're running for the Truckee Town Council. Can you tell us a little bit about the Town Council, the makeup, what they do? Yeah, so start there.
Yeah, definitely. So the Truckee Town Council is the town governing body. It's made up of 5 elected town council members. And how it works is the mayor and vice mayor are selected from the 5 town council members by the council. So when you're voting for a town council member, you're also voting for a future mayor potentially. And it's always decided in December who's going to be mayor and vice mayor for the coming year. And so there's the 5 town council members, and they not only serve on town council, but they also all serve on committees to represent the town, things like the Mountain Housing Council, the Truckee T-Bid, and others. And so, you know, not only do they serve as town council members, but also representatives there. And the committees are selected in December as well. And then the Truckee Town Council oversees the town manager and the town attorney. And so, you know, the policies and decisions that the town council makes, you know, goes to the town manager to then act with the staff to ensure that those policies and ordinances are acted and moved forward. So that's a little bit how town council works.
Good. So can you tell me, this year, I know that you are running for one of the 4-year seats. Can you tell me about this year's election and how that's working? Because it's a little different than in some years past.
Yeah, definitely. So there are 3 seats in this election. There are 2 4-year seats. So I'm running for one of the 4-year seats. There are 6 other candidates running as well. And so you'll select 2 for a 4-year seat. And then there's 2 candidates running for a 2-year seat. And the reason there's a 2-year seat is because Morgan Goodwin had been elected 2 years ago and he left. And so his term is for election for 2 years, and then will be up again in 2 more years. So 3 people you'll be voting on for Truckee Town Council.
Up to 3, because they could, for the 4-year, I mean, technically they could just vote for one person. Just vote for you.
That is, yes, that is correct.
You can
if there's one you really like.
You can vote for 2 people. You're being honest.
Correct.
So tell me, in Truckee, what are the most pressing issues do you think the town is facing? You know, maybe in the near past and what you're looking at in the future.
Yeah, so, you know, the big issues, I think, are issues that we see region-wide, not just in Truckee, but affordable housing for our workforce. That, of course, is hugely important. You know, we're seeing more and more people having to move to Reno or outside the area, so that's a big issue, is ensuring we can continue to provide housing here. Also, other big issues include wildfire protection and, you know, just making sure that we are doing what we can to be as safe as possible and protect our community. And that not only is the town's responsibility, that of course is fire districts, U.S. Forest Service, and all community members as well. I would say also, you know, important issues this year, something we would have never thought about, but just the health and economic impacts of COVID-19. You know, and I think we're going to have to continue to discuss and tackle that. And the community has been, just this week, Nevada County got the go-ahead to open even further, so that was great. But we need to continue to do what we can, again, to keep everyone safe and healthy. So that will be a big issue. And then also, you know, sustainability and the environment. we all live here because we love our great open spaces and places to recreate. So we need to make sure Truckee is doing everything we can to combat climate change and have the most sustainable community that we can.
Yeah, I love the work that Truckee, the town of Truckee does on their green initiatives, Keep Truckee Green. I think the town does a fantastic job on that. So I'm glad that is an issue that you're passionate about too. I'm very happy to hear that.
Yeah.
So can you tell us a little bit about yourself? I know some of your background from your work in Placer County, but can you tell us that? And then also your contacts in Truckee too.
Definitely. So yeah, currently I work as a district director for the Placer County District 5 Supervisor. So right now it's Cindy Gustafson. And previous to that, I worked for Jennifer Montgomery. So that's a role. I work in Tahoe City. And that's really been a great opportunity for me to, understand local government and some of the regional issues and, kind of see some people and how they work to find solutions and also create policy to affect change. So I think that's been a great experience for me. Previous to that, I was the morning show host on Truckee Tahoe Radio 101.5, Lindsay with an A, you may know me as. So I hosted the morning show for just about 10 years, and that was a great opportunity to really get to know the community. I talked with lots of organizational leaders, community members, just to learn about all the great things here in our community. And that's my work experience. So outside of work, also been very involved in the community. Previously, I served on the Municipal Advisory Council in Olympic Valley and was on that and the chairperson during the Village Project. So that was a very exciting and contentious time, but I learned a lot about how to be a good listener and run a meeting with lots of people with differing viewpoints. So that was a great experience. Currently, I'm a board member for Sierra Community House. And Sierra Community House is, of course, the organization that came together last July, combining Tahoe Safe Alliance, Project Mana, and the Family Resource Center in North Tahoe Family Resource Center. So that's been a great experience to get to know the community even better on that level. Also for fun, I have volunteered in the Truckee Follies. I like to act on stage. So I've been in the Truckee Follies. Also, you may have seen me in a few Truckee Community Theater productions. So that's always fun to do. And then besides that, just personally, just became a homeowner just under a year ago, last November here in Truckee. And then also a new mom. As of 3 months ago. So it's been an exciting year. So that's a little bit about me. And then of course, I love to do all the things we love to do in Truckee and Tahoe, snowboarding in the winter, hiking, and all the great outdoor activities in the summer as well.
Yeah, I think one of the most compelling things about you is that you are so knowledgeable about the government, first of all, how government runs, but that you have so many contacts around the community. So Truckee, certainly, because you are based in Truckee, or homeowner in Truckee, and you'll be part of the school district in a few years, but that you have so many other so much outreach into different other parts of the community, which I think would serve you really, really well on the council. So let me see, we do have a chat here. So there is a question from, hi, Sarah. So there's a question from our audience, and the question is, what can Truckee do to better manage our rapid growth?
Mm-hmm. That is a tough question. Good question, Sarah. I think some of the ways that I would like to address some of that is just, again, I think at the beginning, I think Sarah, you were a part of this, is ensuring that we have affordable housing for our workforce. So making sure, that we have people who live here, work here, are here all the time. One way that I would like to address that is through a locals deed restriction program. So this is a program that I first learned about in the Mountain Housing Council, that another organization I've been a part of. And this is a program that's worked in Vail, Colorado, and it's where the town would purchase deed restrictions on properties, and it would be property owners would choose to be in this program. It's not like anybody would be forced, but the deed restriction would then ensure that that property, full-time local would have to live in that property for a span of say 50 years. So it's an opportunity to preserve housing stock for locals, so it wouldn't be able to be generated to short-term rentals or second homeowners or anything like that. I think some of the other issues that we want to address that we see with additional people in town includes traffic problems. So one of the ways I'd like to address that is I'm a huge proponent of additional public transit. It's great that the town's already increased the public transit, now has connectivity into the nighttime hours to Olympic Valley and North Star, but would like to see more frequency. Also additional shuttles into neighborhoods, and then also along with public transit, just getting more people on bike and pedestrian pathways. So continue to work with the town to continue to connect our neighborhoods and to our regional areas as well. The more people we can get out of the cars, the better. And not only will this help alleviate traffic, but also speaks to kind of what I was talking about before with sustainability, and would help limit our greenhouse gas emissions. It's tricky because Truckee is a desirable place to live. So I think doing some of these things to help out residents, our local workforce, get people out of their cars could really make a difference.
Yep, I'm a new e-bike owner, so I appreciate any new trails out there. So tell us what are the most compelling reasons to vote for you. Wait a minute, Sarah has just.
I like it, Sarah.
Yeah, so she asks, what are you most excited about working on? Sarah, do you mean within the rapid growth question, or in Truckee in particular?
On council?
On council.
Perfect. Well, I hate to keep saying the same thing, but affordable housing is, definitely, again, this is such a big issue in our community. So, working to establish this locals deed restriction program. I think the town's also done a great job of being innovative. They just passed the long-term rental grant program to try to incentivize second homeowners to rent to long-term renters. So continuing to work on, again, some innovative programs so we can get our workforce into already existing housing. This also ties into the environment. We don't want to just build giant sprawl into our forests. So let's use what we have, so let's work on, again, innovative ideas to get people into our already established communities. And then again, this draws back into less car traffic and, not pushing people far out. It's, again, working in the neighborhoods that we already have established. So affordable housing, I'm very excited about. Public transit, definitely, I'm excited to continue to increase that. With sustainability, just continuing to work with our regional partners to preserve our open spaces. Truckee Donner Land Trust has done a great job of doing some of that. So continuing to be good partners and good advocates at the town to continue to ensure we've got open spaces that we can all enjoy and recreate in. And then, another thing that thank you, that I didn't mention before, but I'm here to represent all of Truckee, so also ensuring that all of our community is able to participate. So I would like to push for more bilingual resources and forums and opportunities, so that way everybody in our community can participate as best they can, and we can hear from everybody. I've lived a lot of the challenges in Truckee, but I also recognize there's a lot of challenges I haven't. So I want to hear from all community members when moving forward on decisions. So that's something I'm really excited about, and I think my background working with Sierra Community House will also help, bring more community members to the table to have great conversations. So those are a few of the things I'm excited about.
I think that's amazing. Trying to bring in, be inclusive of everybody, and especially Spanish speakers and those who are underrepresented a little bit is super important. So I commend you for that. That's fantastic to hear. So what is the best way, if somebody wanted to get involved in your campaign, what's the best way to get involved in your campaign?
Yeah. And you also, Karen, you kind of mentioned before Sarah's questions about why should we vote for you. So I would say, some of those things that I'm very excited to do, I think are great. Also just reiterating a little bit, Karen, what you said of my community connections just through my job at the radio station, my volunteerism, and my time now working for Placer County. I have established a lot of relationships. So, I already know some of the people to kind of work with regionally. So I think that's hugely important. And then just, again, my listening, I want to listen to people. I love talking with people and hearing from people. So, I'm somebody that's not coming in and just going to do it Lindsay's way or no way at all. It's let's work together on this. So yeah, if you're excited to support me and help out, or you want to learn more, I have a website, which is just lindsayromack.com, and that's Lindsay with an A. So you can check that out. It's got a little bit more background on me and some more detail on some of the important issues. Then it's got a place where you can go if you're interested in endorsing me. That'd be fantastic. Also donations, still accepting those. And I do have a page on voting. So if you just want to know more about, where to vote, how to vote, I've got a lot of information there. So that would be great. Always looking for volunteers too, still doing some phone calls and dropping off literature at houses. So if people want to volunteer, they can check it out there as well.
That's fantastic. I'm glad that you have the information on how to vote, because I think things are changing a little bit. So I know that the ballots are going to be sent, is it the first week of October? But the location of the drop boxes, or the drop box, may change. That's what I'm hearing. But normally there's a drop box at the town city hall on Airport Road. Is that what you understanding too?
Yes. Yeah, so it's my understanding for now that, there's a drop box at Truckee Town Hall that's open 24 hours a day. And then there will also be drop boxes at the grocery outlet and at Save Mart that are both available during regular business hours. So people go there. And then there's also going to be 2 4-day vote centers. So if people do want to vote in person, they are welcome to do that. It's going to be over at the Truckee Public Works Bay, and then also at the Tahoe-Truckee Unified School District offices, the old middle school. They're going to have that as well. But you can find all that information on my website, and we'll update as things change as well.
Yes, please do, because I know things are changing. So your website will be a great resource. So I want to say hi to Jen. How are you, Jen? Good to see your name. I can't see your face right now, but so she's asking a question. She says, how do you think your job with Placer County will affect your position on town council if elected?
Yeah, well, I see it as being a great synergy. A lot of the issues that Truckee faces, Placer County faces. So I think it's a great opportunity, again, to be able to just understand what's happening and to better identify and work on those issues. And I think, a great example too is last fall, Placer County worked on a short-term rental ordinance that was passed at the end of last year. And through my work with Supervisor Gustafson, I kind of helped put that together, talked with a lot of folks on it, and then, that passed. And now Truckee just was discussing theirs last night, and they looked to Placer counties when they were starting to draft their ordinance as just kind of a model. So I think that shows that some of the work, I'd be doing in my day job would directly translate into my work as a town council member in the evenings as well. So I think, yeah, it would work out perfect because, again, even though we all know that, Truckee ends at this line or whatever, and Placer County is right across the street, our issues don't know that. So, continuing to work together, I think makes a lot of sense.
I agree. I think that your background with Placer County, knowing how Placer County works, and being on the what was known as the Squaw Valley MAC, is going to help you a lot. I think that's fantastic. Mm-hmm. So, Jen and Sarah, do you have any other questions? Go ahead and type them in there, or anybody else if you have any questions. We are recording this session. I know that the internet is not spectacular, so I am going to post this session so anybody can watch it. You guys can watch it again, but if there's anything that you can't understand with because of the internet connection, maybe high-speed internet is another thing to put on your list.
Yes, I just actually got a text from a friend last night who said, if you get elected, can you make this a priority? So, well, I know here in Truckee, it's Sudlink, it's a private business. I know that the town is taking comments about internet right now, because if the town could advocate for, additional services or opportunities, I think that'd be great, especially since more and more of us are working from home or doing Zoom. We need to make sure that we've got opportunities and our connection doesn't cut out.
Yeah, and especially for the kids too. I think it's important. So, if you've watched any of this and need more clarification, then lindsayromack.com is a good spot to go to. I see that there's one more question. It says, where do you see Truckee in 5 years?
Great question, Jen. I see first on the sustainability environment issue, I see that we've made even more steps to do things like reduce our single-use plastics. The town has started some initiatives that kind of had to be pulled back a little bit with COVID, unfortunately, but I think in 5 years we'll be able to move forward with those. That combined with more public transit options, hopefully maybe even electrifying the transit fleet. We will be taking a lot of good steps towards combating climate change. So I think that's very important for Truckee in 5 years. I also will say that we'll have more affordable workforce housing. We'll have more people that are able to live and work in the community. So that'll be hugely important. And then, continuing to have a great community that we can all recreate and enjoy. I hope to do that. And as I mentioned at the beginning, wildfire risk is very important. So working on that to making sure that we are doing everything we can to protect our community. So that way we still have a community that is vibrant and ready to go in 5 years will be great. I also do want to touch, on the economy. I know a lot of our local businesses have been affected the past 6 months. So while we're in this COVID phase, continuing to work on creative ideas, to have our restaurants move out into the middle of the street and things like that. So that way we can see our businesses flourish. And so in 5 years, we can continue to see all of these businesses that are in business now still succeeding in 5 years. I think that's really important too.
Yeah, we love our local businesses. Yeah, and it's interesting to think about as you diversify the economy. That does mean that and get away from a tourist economy just a little bit. It means that there are more full-time people here in Truckee. So there's a lot of discussion that can go on about that. But I know that if you have a diversified economy that pulls away from tourism a little bit, that does mean more people. But in the meantime, yes, I agree. I think everybody, as much as you possibly can, should go out and visit the local businesses so that they can make it through this COVID. Yeah. Who knew it was going to last this long?
Right. Yeah. And you know, Karen, touching on a little bit of what you just said, and Sarah, your question about growth too, I think it also goes back to identifying and dealing with issues that come from more people being here. So Karen, you just made me think again about trash and litter. You know, I know that's been a huge issue this summer. So doing things like increasing trash service, making larger garbage cans, having better education on our garbage cans and bins to make sure that people know, don't leave your trash outside this bin if it's full. And you know, with the short-term rental ordinance, there's going to be restrictions on how much garbage pickup you have to have per week. So that way, you know, all short-term rentals are taking care of their garbage. So I think, you know, combating some of those things that we're seeing from additional people and being more proactive in making sure we're dealing with that. So that way, if there are more people here, you know, we aren't adversely affected. We're again helping out our community to still stay pristine and great for all of us.
Did I read that the town of Truckee put in some new trash compactors in Old Town Truckee?
They did, yes. They're larger cans and they're compactors, so that way, you know, we know what a compactor does. It can smush down. So yeah, and they started doing them down at the end by the rail yard, and the plan is to put more in, I believe, next spring throughout the downtown corridor. So something like that. So again, that there can be just more places to put trash. So I think that's great. And I know a lot of community members have been volunteering with Truckee Litter Corps to go out and do pickups outside of just the one time a year Truckee Day. So it's great also to see community members stepping up and helping out too. So I would continue to support that.
If somebody wanted to find out more about the Truckee Litter Corps, can they go to townoftruckee.com?
Yes, I would say go to keeptruckeegreen.org. That's the, you know, the Keep Truckee Green hand of the town of Truckee, and they probably would have more info, or if they reach out to me through my website, I can make sure that I connect them the correct way.
That's perfect. That's great. Wow, this has been fantastic talking to you. I want to make sure that we've covered everything that you wanted to cover. So
yeah, one more, you know, I failed to mention, Karen, when you were asking me about my background and experience. Of course, I'm a 2016 North Tahoe-Truckee leadership alum. But I do feel like, you know, that did really help me, again, just learn more about the community, get to know more people, get a little bit more confident, and again, how to work on issues and find problems. My project back 4 years ago was Solution to Pollution, and we worked on, you know, how to combat the issue of dog poo being left out. And so we had come up with the idea of a sticker for bear boxes, so people would know where they could leave their poo. So I do want to thank you, Karen, and everybody behind the leadership program, because that really was a great opportunity to learn more about the community and develop my skills. So thank you.
Yeah, we loved having you in the class, and Solution to Pollution was one of the best names I've ever seen for the action plan. So actually, we have just a minute, so I just wanted to ask you really quickly, do you know, because there are a couple of communities, I believe Tahoe Donner and then Dollar Point in Tahoe City, who actually have stickers. It's not the same name, but it's stickers that it's exactly the same idea, where you can put your poop bag in the dog's poop bag, excuse me, in their bear box. And do you know if those you know, those stickers in those places came from your idea? I've never been able to find out.
Yes. No. Actually, I think the Tahoe Donner one, that kind of happened right around the same time that we were in the leadership program. So, you know, I don't know, we can't take credit for it, but it was a great idea, and I'm glad to see that other communities are stepping up. And, you know, actually on my water bottle, I still have my Solution to Pollution sticker. So maybe that's something I could work on with the town to, you know, when I get into town council, to get something like that going again.
That would be fantastic. I want to mention one more thing because the new Nevada County Supervisor, was elected in March, is going to start in January. That's Hardy Bullock, and he is an alumni of the leadership program. And his offices are going to be in the town building.
Town hall.
Thank you. Yeah, he's moving his offices to town hall. So you'll have another alumni right there in the building for you.
That's great. And that goes back to, again, talking about regional issues, that we have all these regional partners. So I think the more that the town can have better collaboration with Nevada County, I think is fantastic. So that'll be great. And I know Hardy from the airport, so I'll be excited to work with him as well. So fantastic to hear.
That's good. Okay, so one more time, getting a hold of you, lindsayromack.com. Lindsay with an A.
Lindsay with an A. And, I'll give out my email address too. It's really easy to remember. It's lindsay@lindsayromack.com. So you can also just send me an email directly if you've got any additional questions, thoughts, or concerns, or want to hear more.
Good, fantastic. Thank you for coming on, talking to us today. It's great to see you. Say hi to your mom.
I will. And thank you very much, Karen, for the opportunity, and Sarah and Jen, who stepped off. Thank you for the questions. I really appreciate it.
Oh, fantastic. Good. Well, good luck. And I can't wait to see. I'm so proud of you. I can't wait to see what happens. And I am sure that you will do a fantastic job if elected. So good luck.
Well, thank you very much, Karen. I really appreciate it.